Morning guys, how are we doing? Welcome to today's video. So today I want to talk about 10 misconceptions about you guys that come out here and the stigma that it holds with it. And I want to break it down and explain why people around the world, you leave your home, you've worked hard, you've got your money together, you're ready for your holiday, you leave your home, you get on the airplane. The minute you board on the airplane, all the talk is going on behind your back. Oh yeah, we know what they're going out there for, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, well, let's go through these and I'm going to give you some hard facts that will dispel these misconceptions, and I'm going to go through them step by step. What I'll do is, while I'm talking, rather than just stare at me, I'll get Bo to shove me in the corner out of the way, and you can see some recent up-to-date drone footage and stuff around the city. So let's get straight into it, guys. And before I go into it, if you'd like to receive our monthly newsletter, please send me an email, 247potato@gmail.com. Just write newsletter in the head, and we send out, like I said, monthly, because we did it monthly. It's every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, send me an email, guys, and we'll add you that. Bo does a fantastic job. Right, Bo, get rid of me, and let's get up in the air, and let's go through it. So number one, there's only one reason why you come out here, apparently. There's only one reason. You come out here because you want to come out here and experience the nightlife. That's what you're here for. And I disagree. Yes, we do have the nightlife here. Of course we do. That goes without saying. However, if you look at golf, okay, Pattaya is surrounded by over 28 world-class championship golf courses. So we've got golf available every direction you want to go. Thousands of men, they come out here annually or more regular for golf holidays. They spend their days on the greens and their nights having dinner with their friends and family. And of course they're going to have a lad's night out. But the point being is, if you're a serious golfer, well, Chonburi, the area here in Pattaya, has incredible golfing opportunities for you to come and enjoy. Medical tourism. When you're back home, I hear horror stories about the waiting list to get stuff done in your own hospitals, etc., with your doctors. There are many people that come out here to have their high-end dental work done. Dental work out here, which is a fraction of the cost back home. You can go for, like I did with my eye surgeries, etc., health checkups. There's a lot of things that you can come out here that you can literally walk into a place such as Bangkok Pattaya Hospital and say, right, this is what I want. This is how I need it finishing off. When can you do it? And they'll say, take a seat, sir. We'll start in 10 minutes. That kind of scenario doesn't happen back in England. I know loads of people that have come out here particularly for dental work. So again, it's not just a nightlife. I've come out here, I want to get my dental work sorted out, or I want to get my eyes done, or I want to get my health checkup done. And of course, on the back of that, yes, we have our nightlife. The other one about it is, that we're all here for that is there's a big, massive digital nomad scene. There's a lot of people coming out here now that can work whilst they're out here. They can work in their condos or in the internet cafes, etc., doing whatever it is they do back home online. So it gives them an opportunity to come out here. Maybe the climate, who wants to sit in England when it's -5, freezing cold, raining every day, sitting in your house, confined to your house, thinking, well, I'll just work online, when you can get on an airplane and come out here for 3 months and enjoy yourself. Why would you want to stay in your house or your home back in wherever you are in the world in the freezing cold when you can literally work online and come out here? So, this whole one reason you're only out here, no, absolute rubbish, Ron. Number two, we're in God's waiting room, apparently. This city is only for dirty old men and retirees. Well, if that's the case, let me ask you a question, guys. So why are there so many Muay Thai camps? You've got gyms like Fairtex and Tiger. They operate actual Muay Thai excursion where you come out here, you stay here for a month, 2 months, whatever, and you do your Muay Thai. They're packed with men in their 20s and in their 30s who come here to train, to get into shape, to enjoy and experience this wonderful art of fighting. So again, how does that mean an old man? There's young families out. You go down to Jomtien, you walk around Jomtien, particularly over on the east side. There is a large expat community where there are families here. Maybe dad's working remotely. Maybe he's on and off the rigs, but he wants to set up his home here. He's not an old man waiting to die. The adventurous crowd, younger men are increasingly coming out here now for things like jet skiing. We have jet skiing competitions. We have kite surfing competitions. We've got these huge water parks surrounding us where you can go and enjoy yourself and have fun and throw yourself around like a dolphin. All these things are available. It's not just a city for the dirty old man and the retiree. It really isn't. There's so much to offer here. Number three is you're just a loser. You're a loser back home. You come out here because you can't succeed or find a partner back in your home country. You know, I always laugh when I read this because when you look at it, yes, I was in a long-term marriage back in England and sadly it didn't work out. However, that isn't the reason I came out here. I came out here to get away from everything that was going on around me and start afresh. You know, when you come out here, there's a lot of people you bump into, and people like include retired pilots, surgeons, engineers. I know CEOs, I know head of marketing people. These people are just making their hard-earned money go further. They come out here not because they couldn't succeed in the West, but they get more value for their money. And of course, we do have a surrounding of beautiful ladies. The business owners, there's so many business owners here, regulars own successful companies in the UK, in Australia and Europe around there. And they used this city as like their reward off-season time. Yep, I'm there. I've made a lot of money. I've had a strenuous 9 months. I want to do some sun and some sand and relax. Why not come out here? Why not? What is there to say that you're coming out just because you're a loser when in fact you're actually a very successful business person? You know, when I sit in the lounge sometimes, you know, I listen to conversations, I talk to people, and the diversity in the people that come into the lounge is insane. It really is. I know guys, you know, and I know what we laugh and joke and say, yeah, you go in the bar, what are you? I'm an airline pilot, and when really they're not. But the point being is, when you sit down in the lounge, particularly in the Buzzin lounge here, I get to know people, you know, I keep in contact with them long term, and they genuinely are. There's some very, very successful people come out here, and they come out here because at the end of whatever contract they've done or whatever stint they've done, they fancy a break. They want to come out here. They are not a loser that just can't succeed or find a partner in the West. Number 4. Well, you're only going to come out here because you're lonely. Every man in a bar is lonely and has got no friends and no family. Again, absolute rubbish. And when people come out here, we've got so many sports and social clubs that you can go and enjoy. You know, we've got the Pattaya Cricket Club, we've got the rugby, we've got pool leagues. I can't think how many pool leagues are out there where you can go and introduce yourself, go and have a few games of pool, you'll meet new friends, etc. So again, there's a massive social scene there. Much more social, I think, out here than it is back in London. When I was in London, I was working 5 days a week. I'd have one night out with my lads, mates, and then I'd have a night out with the wife, and that was it. And Sunday we would be sat at home, family things. So I didn't have, oh, I'm going out night after night playing pool or going out and play football, watch the sport. You know, it was literally condemned to two days, one of which was with my wife. So there's a much bigger thing to do out here. You come in the lounge, you know, you use the lounge as your local. One of the best successes in the lounge, in my opinion, is the fact that we are more of a local bar. When you come in here, you'll get to meet people that you've met over time after time after time. It's a low pressure, no pressure environment from the girls. They won't hassle you. If you want to sit there and have a beer and have a chat with your mates, you're more than welcome. There's no requirement for you to buy later. You can just relax. And then when you're in this environment, then basically that gives you an opportunity to make friends, make networks. And suddenly, you know, you're not this lonely person that they keep assuming that you are. A lot of people that come out here are still in contact with their families. You know, admittedly, it's hard. I speak from personal experience. The communication between me and my youngest son, who's now a professional golfer, has been very, very challenging, very, very difficult, to the point where I've had many nights where I sit alone and I cry because I think I miss my kids, I miss my son, I want to reach out to him. But he's living his life now, he's out there, and I wish him all the best. But the point being is, a lot of people that are out here are constantly video calling, constantly keeping in contact with their family and their friends back home, so they're not lonely. Number 5, the scam bait. Men in Pattaya are clueless and constantly getting ripped off by the locals, etc. Well, okay, at the end of the day, you know, let's be honest, you can go all around the world and there are situations that could put you in a position you perhaps didn't want to be in. A lot of the guys that come out here, particularly first timers, it's very, very important to do your homework. However, if you surround yourself by good people, i.e. like come into the lounge and speak to guys in here, etc., you know, a lot of the regulars are out there, very street smart. They know the score and they will help you. You don't get ripped off. If you make yourself vulnerable, you're going to become vulnerable. i.e., let's say you're not a very big drinker, you come out here, you get slaughtered on your first night, you walk down Beach Road like drunk. Well, you're making yourself vulnerable, so you don't want to be doing that. You know, we've got a lot of information available. You know, you've only got to go onto YouTube, watching channels like myself and many other very successful, very good YouTubers. You know, you've got our new Pattaya app, which we've just launched. If you haven't had a look at it, have a look in the Play Store. But there's a lot of information that's available right on your fingertips to avoid you getting caught out. I've done many videos about going into bars, going into a-go-go's, with a Thai girl, etc. What to try and watch out for, because it does sadly happen. But if you do your homework, then you start to become street savvy and you don't get ripped off. It's not the scamming situation. You know, a lot of guys out here have had the same Thai friends and maybe partners for, you know, 10 years plus. I've got guys here, Thai guys I've known for years. You know, I've been married 7 years. There's a lot of things you can do out here that's not the scam. It's just a case of if you put yourself in a position where you might be a vulnerable target, well, hey-ho, it might happen. I could take you to a place in London, walk you around London and say, right, I'm going to pop off for an hour. I'll leave you around this area, have a look. And before you know it, they'll be in a world of trouble. So it doesn't just apply to here. You've just got to be a bit more street savvy. The alcoholic. When you come out here, you're an alcoholic. You sit in the bars 24 hours a day, just on a bar stool, and that's all you do. You know, again, I'm gonna say that's wrong, because yes, we do have a large nightlife opportunity here to come out and enjoy yourself and partake in alcoholic beverages. No issues with that whatsoever. However, if that was true, if that was all that was here, then why are there so many, and I mean so many, gyms? Why are there so many gyms here when every day you can see guys from all ages, from young lads up to the older, even to retirees, that are in the gym there from 7 o'clock in the morning doing their thing? If they want to sit in a bar, why are they exercising? Why are they out there doing it? Why are they keeping themselves in good shape? You've only got to go up to Mapachan Lake. Go to Mapachan Lake at the top there of Soy Siam country. You know, you can walk around the lake. It's a lovely walk. It's a long walk, but it's a lovely walk. Alternatively, you can hire a bicycle and go around and cycle around. There are a lot of things that you can do here that are not, I'm an alcoholic. Restaurants. We've got some incredible restaurants and some expensive restaurants, and they're expensive because of the quality of the food that they're producing. You know, you've got places like the Brooklyn Deli recently opened in Harlem, his restaurant opposite. Incredibly good food. Cafe des Amis, Patrick's Steakhouse, you know, the list is endless. You know, Flame, all these different places where you can go in there and you're not going to be buying a 40 baht kapow mulsap, but you are going to be getting quality steaks, quality Western food, and, you know, decent wine, etc. But you are going to be paying a little bit more for it. But you're still not sitting in the bar every day, 24 hours a day as an alcoholic. You're experiencing what this beautiful city has got to offer in terms of restaurants and things to do that are physical activities. You know, I mentioned earlier about golf. Go and join a golf society. You know, you go out for the day, have a few beers afterwards, come back, relax, chill out in your condo, and then that's job done, isn't it? So this myth that you're all alcoholics, you just sit in a bar and you just drink yourself into oblivion, absolute rubbish. Number 7, the cultural disrespect. In other words, you come out here to the Thai culture and you don't give a damn about Thailand. You just want to get out of it what you can, i.e. cheap drinks and entertainment. Well, okay, that may be true to some to some point. However, I know many people that come out here and they've immersed themselves in trying to learn Thai language. You know, and it's nice. It's good to be able to communicate. At the end of the day, it makes you on a different level to the average guy that can't speak any Thai. It opens up a lot more doors. It gives you an opportunity to communicate with people that maybe wouldn't communicate with you because their English is not that good. And it makes me laugh. People say, bloody hell, I went there, she couldn't even speak English. Well, she's not English. She's Thai. So you can argue the toss, say, well, if they want to interact with Westerners, they need to learn Western words. I get that, and I agree with you in some respects. However, it doesn't hurt you to try and learn a little bit of Thai. It's not as easy. Just don't ask Michael to help you because his Thai is terrible. Temples. How many times do you go to a temple and you support the temple by buying the wreaths, the rose, you give money to the girlfriend or to your wife or to whoever you may be with, and that helps support the temples. And by supporting the temples, it supports the monks and the development and the increase of temples here in Thailand. I do it myself. Doesn't bother me the slightest. I'm more than happy to put my hand in my pocket, particularly when it's from my wife's side of point of view. If she's down on the temple, she wants to do something, so sweetheart, you get whatever you want done. I will stand back. I will watch you. I will respect that you are in your religion and that you're paying your respects to how you want to do it. For me, no, I'm not interested at all, not even in the slightest. But I respect that this is their religion, so I help support. Charities out here, so many charities, and myself included, have helped. Remember when I did Bang Jing Jai, Bang Kru Jar? You know, I've done a lot of these, the Father Ray family. I've done these years before I had my channel, And I will continue to do it. And this year, I'm going to find another source. We've done the blind school recently. I want to go back there and do some more work for them and help them out. So there's a lot of foreigners that come out here that apparently don't care about the Thai culture, yet they put their hand in their pocket and they help. So I'm going to say that myth, that assumption, as we call it, is complete rubbish. So many people. I mean, when I helped Bang Kru Jar, which was the school for the children that have been abused and they've got no fathers and mothers, it was insane. You know, we had a fantastic response. We did so much for them. We did so many things. Yes, I got hit with all the fucking trolls and that shit. But at the end of the day, do you know what? I don't care. I really don't care, because the nuts and bolts of it is we actually did a huge amount of good work for them. As I did with Jingjai before them, before I even mentioned it on YouTube, as I did with the Father Ray Foundation, and as I've since done with the blind children. So, you know, if I don't care about Thailand, why would I try and help? Why would many other people try and help? You know, you've got the guy that gives out the helmets to the kids that have got no helmets, trying to improve their safety levels. There's so much that goes on there. So that myth I strongly disagree with. Number 8, the anti-family. Many men come here to get away from their wives and kids. Well, if you were married to my ex-wife, I don't blame you. But no, in general, you look around now, you see a lot of guys will come out here, bring their wives, they'll bring their kids, they'll bring their, especially if they've got older sons. I know people that brought their daughter out. I mean, I brought my daughter out here. She didn't like it, not because of the environment, because of what we were immersed in, but because of the temperature. She just didn't like the heat. She didn't like it, but she's fine. You look around, how many children, their parents are taking their kids off to schools. And we've got some incredible schools out here. And if you've got a family and you're looking to move out, you know, you've got St Andrews, you've got the rugby school, there's so many I could list. But the point being is, it's a family environment that you're still immersed in and you're still taking care. Go down to Jomtien. Jomtien now is quite a family-orientated destination. You walk around there, you will often see families, not single men. So again, this myth that, oh yeah, you know, you want to get away from your wife, you want to get away from your kids. Well, two things. Number one, I don't believe that. I think a lot of people bring their children and kids out here anyway. More so now because the demographic of the city is changing. But also, well, are you not entitled to have a holiday on your own? I used to. If I was going to go away with my wife back in the UK, sometimes, like, and if it was close, like in Europe, I'd sometimes go on my own for a couple of days just to check it out. Because the last thing I wanted to do was take my wife over to France or Germany or Spain or wherever, and then we're walking around, it's not up to scratch. Well, I got her moaning in my logo. I don't need that. So I'd go out first, have a look around, and think, yeah, this is quite good. Go back and say, okay, yeah, we're going to go. Next month, we're going to go out there. And then we'd go and do it. So again, you know, kind of dispels that myth. Number 9, and this one I love. You're a cheap Charlie. That's why you go to Thailand. You want to exploit the fact that it's cheap as chips and you don't have any money to enjoy yourself. Right. Go and speak to Martin at Cornerstone Real Estate. He's an extremely very good, very professional service. And ask him how many budget condos, how many budget villas he has available. And he will tell you, Trev, hardly any, mate. He said, the general look of the property market now is it's going up and up and up in value. You know, I can take you to places across on the east side that are 10 million baht plus upwards, you know, as far as 50 million. And, you know, that's not a cheap Charlie, is it? That's not a cheap Charlie. If you're going to be spending 50 million on a house or on a high-end penthouse condo, maybe, that ain't a cheap Charlie. I'm about to have my house start building soon. That's going to cost me the best part of 4 to 5 million baht. Is that a cheap Charlie? I don't think so. Look around the city. How many times do you look around and see a Mercedes or a Porsche or a Bentley? You know, if you watch my channel for a long time, you'll see when I walk down on 3rd Road, when you go around the corner just before you get onto South Pattaya Road, I call it the millionaire's car park. There's Rolls Royces, there's Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, they're all in there. Well, if you're a cheap Charlie, how can you afford that? And go down to the harbour, go down to the ocean marine and go and see Scott Finson. Scott Finson's the harbour master down there. I've known Scott many, many years, over 10 years. And walk around and have a look at the boats. So if they're cheap Charlies, then how the hell can they afford? The mooring fees alone are astronomical, in my eyes, for putting your boat there. But the boats themselves, they ain't no cheap Charlie. Yes, you can go around here and you can find a meal for 40 baht. You can get a beer for 39 baht. Of course. But that doesn't make you a cheap Charlie. I sit in some of these bars when I meet my friends and I have a 39 baht beer. Well, no, I don't beer, but I have a 69 baht vodka. Does that make me a cheap Charlie? Because I retired when I was 42. So what you're judging me by is the fact that because I'm sat in an environment with my friends that maybe is offering promotional drinks, that naturally makes me a cheap Charlie. When the reality is, I'm not. And the last one, it's a transaction only, okay? There's no real love here. It's all just about the money. I would say if you roll the clock back 20 years, I would say it was more about a relationship than it ever was about the money. However, with the introduction of social media, with these Thai friendlies and with all these what's the other one where they do that? Oh, they got, what's that site? They put their pictures up there. What's it called? OnlyFans. That's it. OnlyFans. You know, all these kind of things. And again, you know, going back to remember supporting people. You know, girls they changed dramatically when we had COVID, because when they were then isolated without any income whatsoever, and they didn't have any jobs, so many people like yourself watching, and you know, I'm not saying you've done a bad thing, but so many people watching supported the girls. And yes, you did it out of the kindness of your heart, 100%, I get that. However, it changed the demographic, because then what happens is the girls were thinking, well, hang on, I can just stay here and I'm still going to get money. However, if you fish in a shark-infested pool and then you are going to jump in the pool, well, don't expect to not get bitten. But if you take yourself out of this environment here and you travel around the country, trust me, you will have a list. You'll have a list as long as your arm plus 10 of ladies that are looking for long-term relationships and are not looking for just money, money, money. I know many guys here that have been married for over 20 years. I know many guys here that have been married for over 10 years. I've been married for 7 years. You know, it is different, but it's available if you look for it. You know, the traditional family values, you know, in Thai culture is, you know, they've disappeared in the West. You come out here, you settle down, you know, the care, the attention that the Thai ladies give you is insane compared to back home. You know, if I said to my wife back home, my ex-wife, God, sweetheart, my feet are aching, give us a foot rub, she'd look at me like I've just spat in her face. You're, what? Do that yourself. So out here, you know, when I go home, as soon as I sit down, most do it. I'm like, sweetheart, I'm okay. It's a completely different world. When you're with the right person out here, I promise you, you'll be very, very hard to find someone in the Western world that will take care of you better than your Thai partner out here. Right, well, there we go. So that's my challenge. Question for you, which of these assumptions I've just gone through is the one that really gets under your skin the most? Drop your comment down below. You know, when you go back home and you tell your mates you've been abroad or you've been out to Thailand, to Pattaya, what's the one assumption that they give you, or the one, the badge that they stick on you? What's the one that you get that you say to yourself, do you know what, it really does get under my skin. I'm flipping, and I'm just sick and tired of it, but I get it. I think there's quite a few there to choose from. I don't know what you think, guys. Drop your comments down below. Did you enjoy the video? Hopefully you did. You know, as I say, I just wanted to cover it, give you some options, give you some ideas, maybe give you some ammunition. So when someone says, oh yeah, you're just a sad, lonely, cheap Charlie, well, take a picture, go down the ocean marina and take a picture of you outside the yacht and say, well, that's me weekend boat. Might be lying, but put them in their place. All right, there we are, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Like always, please remember the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. As I mentioned earlier, join us on our 2 weekly newsletter. Bo does a fantastic job. Just send me an email, 247pattaya@gmail.com. All you got to do, guys, just put newsletter in the top and the rest will take care of itself. Don't start saying, hi, Trev, how you doing? If it doesn't get read, the AI picks it up and puts it straight into our newsletter folder. If you haven't, have a look on TikTok. Bo and Ying do a brilliant job on there. They're constantly updating small, short, 15, 30-second video snippets of what's going on right here, right now in the city. And join us in Discord. Discord, we've got over 25,000 members. It's totally free of charge, guys. Doesn't have a no cost to it whatsoever. Have a look in there, guys. And if you'd like to join us, please come along and join us in that and share your wealth and experience. And you can ask questions about what we talked about here today and get the answers from other expats that are living out here. If you haven't, join us on Kick, kick.com/Buzzin Pattaya. It's live streams. We stream on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, on a Saturday, and on a Sunday at 3 p.m. Thai time. Don't worry if the time doesn't work for you. You can just go into the platform and you can watch the video back and join in the fun and laughs. It's unfiltered, uncensored, and yeah, well worth joining us. Have a look at that. Well, there we go. So that's it for me today. Like I say, you know, Pattaya's like any other city. It's got a lot of everything, but judged by the 95% of the actions and the 5% of just lazy tourism, journalism that just slag you off, to hell with them. All right, thanks very much for watching, guys. As always, please, wherever in the world you are, have a great day.